Episode 1, the 1959 Eldorado, When Subtlety Officially Lost. Welcome to Chrome and Gasoline. I'm Alex, and today we're talking about the 1959 Cadillac Eldorado, a car that didn't just enter a parking lot, it annexed it. Let's set the scene. Late 1950s America is feeling confident. Highways are growing, suburbs are spreading, and optimism is basically sold by the gallon. And Cadillac looks at all that and says, "What if we made a luxury car?" Dramatic pause. You can't hear because I'm not allowed to do sound effects. That resembles a glamorous living room crossed with a rocket ship. First, a tiny clarity check. Eldorado, in 1959, isn't a separate, weird one-off spaceship. It's Cadillac's top-shelf trim series. And in 1959, you're usually talking about the Eldorado Biarritz convertible or the Eldorado Seville hardtop. Either way, the vibe is the same. Maximum presence, maximum chrome, and maximum belief that bigger is automatically better. And then we get to the headline feature, those tail fins. The fins on 1959 Cadillacs are legendary, and the Eldorado wears them with the confidence of a person who walks into a party wearing a cape and somehow pulls it off. They're tall, sharp, and absolutely committed to the jet age fantasy. These fins don't say "I like airplanes." These fins say, "I have opinions about satellites." If you've never stood next to a 59 Cadillac, it's hard to explain the scale. This thing is over 18 feet long. Park it next to a modern car, and the modern car looks like it accidentally wandered into the adult section. The Eldorado isn't a vehicle so much as a mobile declaration that you have arrived and you brought luggage. Now, the Eldorado was Cadillac's way of turning luxury into a carnival of conveniences. Power features? Yep. Comfort? Absolutely. Style? It has more style than it knows what to do with, so it just spreads it across the body like icing. Also, and this is important, the 1959 Eldorado is a perfect example of why people get emotionally attached to chrome. Welcome to our first official chrome therapy session. Some people see chrome and think maintenance. Others see chrome and think my childhood, my uncle's stories. That one poster I should not have put up in a rental apartment. There's something about bright metal on a big American car that makes your brain go, yes, life is under control now. Even if nothing else is, especially if nothing else is. So today is the overview, what it is, why it matters, and why it still makes grown adults act like they've just seen a celebrity. Next episode, we're going full design deep dive, the fins, the face, the chrome, and how Cadillac managed to make a two-tone object look like it's doing 80 miles an hour while standing still. Chrome and gasoline. I'm Alex. And if you ever feel like you're too much, just remember, the 1959 Eldorado exists, and it's doing great. Episode 2, Design, Fins, Flash, and the Art of Being Extra. Welcome back to Chrome and Gasoline. I'm Alex, and it's time to talk design, because the 1959 Cadillac Eldorado is basically rolling graphic design with a V8. Start at the front. The 59 Cadillac face is bold and wide, like it's trying to make eye contact with the whole zip code. There's a grille that feels less like a car part and more like a luxury building's lobby entrance. And then there's chrome. Chrome everywhere. Chrome with chrome. Chrome that appears to be holding other chrome in place. Here's your 1950s marketing speak translator for the day. When a brochure says distinguished brightwork, it means we used enough shiny metal to distract you from your mortgage. When it says dramatic new styling, it means the tail fins have their own opinions. Those fins, though, the 1959 fins aren't gently suggestive. They are architectural. They are a statement. They are the reason some garages quietly weep, and at the tips, you've got those iconic taillights, perched up high like jewelry on the corners, because if you're going to brake, you might as well do it in formal wear. The Eldorado trim level adds its own flair. More detail, more polish, more yes, I absolutely ordered the deluxe version. The car looks like it's dressed for a night out. even if it's just going to the grocery store for one item and coming back with six, including a suspiciously large watermelon. Inside, you're in peak late 50s luxury, broad seats, generous materials, and an instrument panel that makes you feel like you should be wearing a nicer watch. Controls are big, confident, and readable because the design philosophy was simple. If it's worth doing in a way you can see from space. Very on brand for this car. And yes, the Eldorado could be loaded with comfort and convenience equipment for the era. Things we take for granted now were once glamorous. Power accessories, climate comfort options, clever lighting features. The whole pitch is effortless. Not fast and furious. Effortless, more like, I have someone who worries about effort. Effortless. There's also a special kind of harmony to the design. It's wild, but it's coordinated wild. The lines lead you from the front to the fins like a guided tour. The car doesn't look confused about what it is. It's not trying to be sporty, efficient, minimalist, or modest. It is trying to be a 1959 Cadillac Eldorado, and it succeeds with the confidence of a Broadway finale. Next episode, we'll get under all that glitter and talk about the mechanical side, the big Cadillac V8, the automatic transmission, and what it feels like to actually drive a car that seems to bend time and parking space geometry. Episode 3. The Muscle Under the Mascara. How it moves. Welcome to Chrome and Gasoline. I'm Alex. Today we're talking about the part of the 1959 Cadillac Eldorado that people forget while staring at the fins. It's still a machine, and it still has to move under its own power. Under the hood, you're looking at Cadillac's big 390 cubic inch V8 in 1959, tuned for smoothness and strong torque. Depending on the exact setup, you're in the mid 300 horsepower neighborhood. The point isn't drag strip domination. The fact is that when you press the pedal, the car responds like a well-trained but very large animal. Calm, confident, and fully aware, it outweighs your expectations. Backing it up is Cadillac's automatic transmission of the era, the sort of gearbox designed to make driving feel like you're gliding, not shifting. The Eldorado isn't asking you to participate in the mechanical drama. It's asking you to arrive, ideally without wrinkling your outfit. Now, driving one, let's be honest, it's not tossable. If you toss a '59 Eldorado, you're not driving, you're negotiating. The steering is typically light, and the ride is engineered for comfort. This is a car made for long roads and confident cruising, not carving corners like a sports car. You don't attack a turn, you schedule a turn. Braking and handling are very much of their time. You respect the masses. You plan ahead. You drive like someone who understands physics and also likes their front bumper remaining in the same zip code as the rest of the car. And yet, there's something deeply satisfying about it. The Eldorado has that classic American luxury sensation. Effortless motion, smooth, immense power, and a sense that the world outside has slowed to a crawl to admire you. Or maybe it's just slowing down because you're occupying most of the lane. Either way, it's a vibe. Also, can we talk about visibility? Those fins are behind you like two confident exclamation points. You don't check if you're being noticed. You assume you're being seen. The car has built-in main character energy. Next episode, we'll talk culture and collecting, why the '59 Eldorado became a symbol, what people chase when they restore one, and what you should watch out for if you ever decide to bring one home and immediately realize your garage is now a suggestion, not a measurement. Episode 4. Fame, fortunes, and the reality of owning a rolling monument. Chrome and Gasoline. I'm Alex. By now, you understand the 1959 Cadillac Eldorado is not just a car, it's a cultural artifact with wheels. Why is it so famous? Because it captured a moment. The late 50s were peak optimism meets style, space-age influence, big design gestures, and luxury that looked like luxury from a block away. The '59 Cadillac, especially in Eldorado form, became the poster child for that era. Movies, photos, parades, car shows. This car shows up whenever someone needs to say mid-century America without using any words. Now, let's do a quick chrome therapy session for collectors. People don't just want transportation. They want time travel. They want the feeling of a world where gas stations had attendants and your car looked like it belonged outside a fancy hotel. The Eldorado delivers that feeling in a way that's impossible to ignore. But ownership comes with reality. Restoration and maintenance on a car this large and complex isn't a casual hobby. It's a relationship. Chrome work alone can be a saga. Interior pieces, trim, correct details. This is the kind of project where you learn patience, budgeting, and the spiritual value of labeled bags of screws. If you're shopping for one, general advice applies. Look for solid structure, honest history, and completeness. Missing trim and unique Eldorado-specific details can turn fun weekend project into epic quest with side missions. Mechanical work is one thing. Chasing rare cosmetic pieces can test your soul and your internet search history. Also, practicality. You need space. This is not a car you tuck into a tight corner. This car wants a garage like it wants a runway. And when you take it out, you don't run errands. You make appearances. You become a small event. But that's the reward. An Eldorado is a conversation starter that rolls. People wave. People stare. Someone will tell you about the one their neighbor's cousin's dentist had, and they'll do it with the seriousness of a historical documentary. Next episode is the finale, the legacy of the 1959 Eldorado, what it symbolizes now, and why it still gets hearts racing even in a world full of supercars and screens. Episode 5. Legacy, the 1959 Eldorado as a time machine with tail fins. Welcome back to Chrome and Gasoline. I'm Alex, and we're closing out our 1959 Cadillac Eldorado story. The elegant, outrageous, chrome-drenched monument to an era when restraint was considered optional equipment. So what's the legacy? The 1959 Eldorado represents peak more. More design, more size, more theater. It's a reminder that cars used to be emotional first and practical second. Today, everything is optimized. The Eldorado is not optimized. The Eldorado is romantic. It's a love letter written in steel and sparkle. It also marks a turning point. The tail fin era hit its absolute summit here. After 1959, the industry started to drift toward different shapes and priorities. But the Eldorado remains the snapshot everybody remembers. The biggest fins, the boldest stance, the look that screams jet age even if it never left Main Street. And in modern car culture, it's a superstar. At shows, it's always surrounded, not because it's the rarest thing in the universe, but because it's unmistakable. You can recognize it instantly, like a celebrity silhouette. People who don't know cars still know this car. They might not say Eldorado, but they'll say, that one, the crazy fin one. That's branding. Let's do one last 1950s marketing speak translator. The standard of the world was Cadillac's famous claim. In 1959, the translation is, we build luxury so confidently that physics files a complaint. And somehow it works. And here's the final chrome therapy session takeaway. The reason the 59 Eldorado still matters is simple. It makes people feel something. Surprise, joy, nostalgia, a little disbelief. It's proof that design can be fun, and that a machine can have personality so big it practically needs its own driver's license photo shoot. If you ever get to see one in person, do it. Walk around it. Look at the details. Notice how the car doesn't apologize for being dramatic. Then go home, look at your sensible modern vehicle, and whisper, it's not your fault. Because not every car can be a 1959 Cadillac Eldorado. That's Chrome and Gasoline. I'm Alex, and remember, life is short. Be kind. And if you're going to dream, dream in tail fins.